All right, year 9s. All right, year 9. So today we're looking at what happens if x, or the unknown side, ends up being the denominator in your trigonometry ratio. So first of all, we're just going to start off with some algebra. If you have 2 equals 4 over x, and you wanted to solve for x, x is your denominator. So it's actually a 2-step process to get your x. The first step would be to multiply by x, which would give you 2x equals 4. The second step would be to divide by 2 to get x on its own. And you would end up with x equals 4 over 2. Now, the important thing to realize here is the transition. So x has gone from the denominator to being on the left-hand side on its own. 2 has gone from being on the left-hand side on its own to being the denominator. And 4 started as the numerator and finished at the numerator. So it has not moved at all. All that has happened is that 2 and x has swapped places. How this looks when you have a trig ratio, for instance, cos of 30 degrees equals 5 on x. All that's going to happen when you transpose is that cos 30 degrees and x are going to swap places. So you will end up with x is equal to 5 divided by cos of 30 degrees. Now, ideally, we would like you to show this with algebra, but if in doubt, you can just follow this rule. And we're going to look at how it looks in practice now. Okay. So, when we're looking at the triangle up on our left, what we have is a right angle triangle where one side is given, one side is unknown, one angle is provided. So the same steps apply. We're going to label. We have our hypotenuse, we have our opposite, we have our adjacent. We're going to see what we've been provided with. So we're going to write O, A, H, and theta. Our opposite is 12, our adjacent is not provided, our hypotenuse is x, and theta is 20 degrees. We have opposite, hypotenuse, and theta, which means that we're going to be working with the sine function. So sine of theta is equal to opposite over hypotenuse. Sine of 20 degrees is equal to opposite of 12 over the hypotenuse of x. And you'll see right now that we have x as a denominator, which was not covered in the last video. The 2 steps we need are to multiply by x, which will give us x times sine 20 degrees is equal to 12. And then we're going to divide by sine 20 degrees. To get x on its own. And that will leave us with x is equal to 12 divided by sine of 20 degrees. Now I'm going to attempt this with a computer scientific calculator. We'll see how that goes. 12 divided by sine, and that's where the first mistake ends. Try 12 divided by 20 sine. There we go, sine of 20 degrees. And we're going to get 0.342. When in doubt, use a calculator. For the rest of these calculations, I will be using the CAS calculator. You can do the same with your scientific. So if I say 12 divided by sine 20 degrees, I get a final answer of 35.09. 35.09 centimeters. I invite you at this point, pause the video, see if you can do the same on your scientific calculator. If you can't, please come and see me. Now, looking at our second example, I'm going to label. We have opposite, adjacent, hypotenuse. Provided to us, we have an opposite of 9, an adjacent of x, a hypotenuse is not provided, and a theta of 80 degrees. The function that we're going to end up using is tan of theta is equal to opposite over adjacent, or tan of 80 degrees is equal to our opposite of 9 over our adjacent of x. This time I'm just going to use the swap method. So I'm going to swap x and tan, and I will get x equals 9 over tan of 80 degrees, which means that x is equal to 9. Again, I'm putting this into my CAS calculator, but it will work the same on your scientific. 1.58, which 1.586, which would be 1.59. And the units here are meters. Good luck.